we're back. Howdy y'all, this is Ethan Bonreal playing more of Oracle of Seasons, and last time we were here, we left Subrosia, went to the kind of final dungeon, kind of didn't beat it, but that's kind of okay, because we got an upgrade for our sword, which is why we even headed there. This time around, we are going to go ahead and head into the 5th or 6th dungeon. I don't even remember what the name of this dungeon is. I'm pretty sure it's the Unicorn Dungeon or some shit. But anyway, we're gonna make some fight here, and we're gonna get as far as we can. I'm 99% sure we will not get to the boss of this dungeon in one part, but that's okay, because sometimes you just gotta meander around a little bit, my friends. If you don't remember, this is part of the same recording session as the previous video. The reason for that is I just want to get in the habit of recording regularly again. I might actually do an LP of another game, although I feel like I have a problem with just starting LPs when I'm bored and not finishing them. I haven't finished Papo and Yo, which I guess I technically could record that. I actually kind of want to start over that LP, delete the previous parts, and re-upload them, which is kind of what I was planning on doing with some older videos I have. Spoilers, I'm gonna delete my Earthbound LP because it's so fucking corny and terrible, and I am so embarrassed of it. But, well, not really embarrassed, it's not to the quality standard that I like. But I'm gonna do that. If you're wondering about Mother 3, why I haven't finished that game, the entire reason for that is actually I cannot go this way yet. Actually, yes I can. Well, I'm 99% sure that this area, like the area after this one, is blocked by something I would need the dungeon item to pass. Yeah, no. Wait a minute. I think this is one of them things that, yeah, okay, so we gotta push it. Almost. I gotta push it down. I mean, up. There we go. We did it. I forgot what I was talking about. Oh, it became one of those things where, as has happened with a lot of my LPs, I just completely lost the files for it because I reformatted my computer. And so I just have to motivate myself to play through the game back to the point where I was at. Because I was a fool and didn't back up those files. I really regret. That is a big ass ruby, good lord. Because I was a fool and didn't back it up before I reformatted, so I just have to suffer for that. And I'm kind of sad because I was actually getting into Mother 3 at that point. The first part of Mother 3 is really fucking hard for me to get through. I think it's just because it's like, it's very easy to die. It's like Earthbound, actually. It's very easy to die in the first part of Mother 3. You can't heal yourself reliably. You can't blow shit up with your brain powers yet. It's just very emotionally draining. And like you saw with me running through Osoe Castle, I basically ended up running around in circles for like 5 hours because I just got murdered so frequently. I forgot what there we go, I just need to do a spin. Wipe these out, get out of here. So, oh, I made a critical mistake. You're supposed to watch which order those die in. And I didn't do that, so I am going to kill the bottom right one first. There you go. And then the one above it. There we go. And then the one to the left of that. And then finally, this bad boy. Alright, so we're going to get increasingly large amounts of rupees. Oh, I'm a liar. I completely forgot. We're just going to get a bunch of useless items, and then we're going to get an item we actually care about. There we go. But oh well. I'm thinking of doing an LP of the Mega Man Zero series, just because I fucking love it, and I finally have a controller to play on, because that is the type of platformer I will absolutely not be able to play on a keyboard. Okay, yeah, we already went that way. Well, no, we can't go to the right, okay. That is the type of platformer that I just cannot play on a keyboard. I also might play Hyper Light Drifter, TBH, because that game is really fun, and it's very pretty. Oh no! Don't murder me. There we go. I also think that would be a very fun game to LP, just because it lets me, I don't know, like, basically I can just meander around and do whatever the fuck I want, but I'm also going to die on screen a lot if I LP that, which kind of sucks. Some people have been asking me if I'll LP Super Health Club, and my answer to that is when... Look, I don't have money. I'm broke. I'm very broke. I can't afford to purchase that game. Like, well, I can, technically, but that would be very irresponsible of me to do that. And then in addition to that, the same issue I run into with coming out on top is going to happen, where there are giant anime dicks all over the fucking screen, and I would have to edit them out, and that would just be a lot of work for me at this point, because I am very terrible at video editing. And I just need to sit down and work on it, but part of the problem I'm facing is that I'm a very busy person, as I complain about just about every other episode. I work and go to school. And I have chronic depression, which means I'm not always motivated to do these things. So, I think maybe one day I'm gonna sit down and do it, because I mean, hell, I'm recording a video now, and I didn't necessarily feel like it when I woke up, but I told myself I wanted to, and so I'm doing it. So maybe I'll learn how to video edit better. I'll sit down one day and just spend all day fucking around with it, and then I'll just be releasing a torrent coming out on top videos. Oh, there we go, we got the dungeon item already. We're making pretty good progress in this piece. I do feel like I'm still not going to get to the boss in this part, but we're making it through pretty quickly. So, more about me and my gay life. So I met up with this guy, actually about 2 weeks ago now. Actually, before I go on to that, you'll probably want to know what this thing is. So this is the magnetic glove, if you did or did not read that. It basically lets you push and pull metal objects away from you. If enemies are wearing metal on them, you can actually suck them to you, or alternatively, oh fuck, just walk right into that pea hat. Please stop. Why are you like this pea hat? It sucks that you have to wait for these fuckers to land before you can actually harm them, but whatever. There you go, get out of here. There we go, okay. Now, I gotta figure out where we're going. Oh, you know what? We probably need to go back on them, what are they called? Minecarts. There we go, and take the other routes. I forgot about that. This dungeon actually took me a long time to figure out how to get through as a child, too. Actually, that's not true. This one was not bad. It was the one after this one that was really rough for me. The last 3 dungeons of this game are a literal gay nightmare, because they just require you not to mash your face on the fucking gamepad. Like, you actually have to pay attention to what you're doing, which makes me a little bit sad. Do we have a key? We do not. I'm gonna go ahead and show y'all what's down here, just a teaser so you can get excited, and also so I can get into this. But basically, the mini-boss of the dungeon is in this room to the right. It's also... We've actually fought this mini-boss in Oracle of Ages, I'm pretty sure, but he's kind of annoying to fight. But he's easier if you already have the Noble Sword at this point. There we go, we got our key. We are going to fight a horrifying cat monster, and I hope that y'all remember this, friend, because they have a very bizarre and unique character model. I have no idea why or how they kind of... I mean, I guess it's not too complicated. Stick a cat with the ball on its tail and then give it some death daggers and have it spin around. I guess this isn't particularly creative, but fuck, dude. You know what I really should be doing is actually not having this equipped, because I could jump over this fucker when it charges into me. Alright, see ya. I find the main issue with this boss is, like, not getting greedy and running into it when it comes out of its ball form, but that is a very, very easy mini-boss, in my opinion. It just does not move. Well, it moves a lot, but it stays still long enough for you to really just do damage, and it's pretty easy to dodge its attacks because the room is so big. So one of the things about this dungeon is that, like, they kind of just stop you pretty abruptly once you get to this point. If you beat the mini-boss, you're like, wow, this is really quick, I got through this dungeon fairly quickly, but the thing is, like, they're gonna stop you pretty abruptly, like, you need to go back and get the keys that you went past, or you just can't get further. Which is pretty neat. I think that's just a neat pacing element. So, I would show this off, but there's really no reason to. If you're playing against those dark nuts, those things we just killed, you can actually... Fuck, I hate these things. Actually, I don't hate them, they're really easy to kill. In fact, you don't even really need to use the dungeon item to kill them, even though they're designed to be killed with it. You just kind of walk up to them and corner them, but... Anyway, if you walk up to dark nuts, you can suck them in using your magnetic glove, and that is really just helpful. So what we need to do now is stick this over here, because later we're going to pop out on this side of the dungeon. And we are going to need that ball, basically, to get by. So, this basically is us being stopped by the game, like I mentioned. We need to go back and go around the long way, instead of just rushing through after the mini-boss. Also, I could stand to pick up some berries. But I was starting to tell y'all a story, and like I often do, I get distracted, but as far as gay shit in my life goes, I met up with this guy about 2 weeks ago. He was really nice. He had a really big ass, too. And we had a pretty good time together, but he did several things that I really, really intensely do not like. He shoved my head into his crotch, which I absolutely 100% do not like when people do that. That really, really annoys me if someone does that without asking first. And then also, he basically... This has never happened to me, and I think it's just because of the demographics where I live, but he basically was, like, trying to compliment me, and he was like, you don't even really look like a black person, because you're really cute, and I was like, that's really racist. But that actually never has happened to me while I've lived in San Antonio, and I think it's in part because people are used to people who are mixed with, basically black people who have, like, Latino descent. And I think people are a little bit used to maybe people who look like me a little bit. But this person, he was like from, I think he said he was from Chicago, or not Chicago. That was a different person, I'll talk about that later. But he was like from somewhere in the Northeast, and I'm assuming like a kind of waspy place or some shit. And he was like, I'd never seen a black person who looks like you, and I was like, that's really bizarre to me. Why do you feel the need to tell me that? So that made me a little bit uncomfortable, but, you know, he really did have, like, a gigantic butt, and it was amazing. I wanted to wear it as a hat. But, he basically told me something that I've talked about before. He had dated his first boyfriend had been his boyfriend for, like, almost all of his life as a gay person, so, like, they met when he was... I think he said like 18 or 19, and they'd been dating ever since, and he was like almost 30. And so he was like, now I don't know what to do. I'm single, and I've only dated one person. And I was like, oh, frowny face. But he was really nice. He was really affectionate too, which is always nice, because sometimes when you meet with men, Have you ever met with a man who's, like, really disgusted to be with other men, but, like, at the same time is very... they want to have sex with men, but they're also disgusted by men, and not, like, in the ironic way, but, like, in the literal, like, they are actually disgusted by men. There we go, let's get this over here. I'm pretty sure this is actually the area where the master, not master key, what the fuck, the boss key is in. But anyway, we're actually like 99% done with this dungeon. We just have a few more rooms we need to go into. So we are going to go back, and I probably need to go to the one to the right and go back to the mini-boss room. But basically, I've just encountered a lot of guys who are, like, really disgusted with being with men, but, like, at the same time, only want to be with men. And it was nice to be with someone who was like, I love being with men. Men are so fucking great. I'm so attracted to men. Because it's nice being with someone who's, like, into you. I think people sometimes maybe take that for granted, but I don't know. It just depends. I think a lot of my first experiences were with people who were, like, really uncomfortable with their sexuality, and they just were like, let's do this and go, so I don't have to think about the fact that I had sex with a man. Actually kind of went the wrong way, but it's fine, we can go this way. So we're gonna use this as a shield to get through here, and we're gonna go we can't go into this room, I'm a fool, so I did go the wrong way, like I was saying. We'll be right back, friends. We are gonna get through that room. Actually, we might very well make it to the boss in this part, and I think that is where I'm gonna cut the video. So we need to go down here. And this is another puzzle they're using the, magnetic glove for. Basically, you can use it to shove yourself off by repelling yourself with magnetism, or you can get yourself sucked up, which is an innuendo, but you can basically push and pull yourself using your magnetic powers now, and that's pretty neat. I also want to point out that the balls, those magnetic balls that we were using as a shield, we can actually use those as weapons to crush enemies too. Please don't run into me, keys. This is the wrong way! We need to go back to the start of the dungeon. So I'm actually a liar. We are going to cut the video here. We're going to... Let me see, I think Gale Seeds can be used to warp to the entrance of the dungeon, right? They can. Okay, that's fine. We are gonna cut the video. I'm gonna meet you back at the dungeon entrance next video, because I'm ending the video here. And then we are gonna beat the dungeon from there, and then move on to the next place that we need to go to. So, in the meantime, in between time, I'll see you nerds later. Thanks for listening, and